Taki lan kinati Binondo tigisi Philippine e Chinatown tigisi 𝚡𝚗𝚍𝚑𝚗 Chinatown 𝚡𝚗𝚘𝚣 e Chinatown來去看看咧。Binondo 也最所在通食，我囡仔時陣逐擺，阮咧叫我 take out， 帶去阮外媽厝內去按遐食。咱這次咧行去看看咧，跩所在按這個 show 個咧看，就是 Can't Buy Me Love on Netflix 誒所在按 Binondo 去taping。咱必去行去 Tasty Dumplings 俾按遐食日頭 ，Tasty 也出名誒，是也出名嘅菜館，因也出名嘅 dumpling 哦，叫伊個 pork chop rice， 我也愛伊個 pork chop rice， kun 俾按遐食。阮食日頭了去 Escolta， 也做物件通買去看看咧。我摕一個 stickers 要刻咧我嘅 journal。Parang pag ina-add mo yung birthday. So, I hope you enjoyed that surprise Hokkien voiceover. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm actually Chinese Filipino, and I was born and raised in the Philippines, especially in Metro Manila. So, when the idea of like putting together a travel and journal with me episode featuring Binondo came about, heavily inspired by this feature documentary I saw on the Chinese Filipino heritage, as well as the show I'm watching. It's called Can't Buy Me Love, which I'll also add to this accordion insert. I just wanted to give myself an excuse to actually explore Manila. Every time I'm home in Manila, I don't go out. I just stay home. So I thought of doing this as a fun way to go back to some of the places I used to frequent when I was younger. And I'm also going to share a Substack essay that I wrote about my visit to Binondo and like my affiliation with cultivating curiosity about being Chinese Filipino. So I printed out some photos using our home printer. Actually, nothing fancy. It's not the best printer, but when I saw this accordion insert, I was like, on a whim, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a Manila documented little, fold out accordion, and I just added elements from my current assets. Like, I have a bunch of collage kits and also some photos and selfies, and I mostly took inspiration from this patterned sheet that you're seeing here. On the top, it's like a Chinese pattern that I saw in one of the collage books I own. So I decided to use it in conjunction with my sticker book, which I'll link down below in case you want to get a book for yourself. It's called Adventure Awaits, and it's travel themed, which was perfect for this endeavor. So yeah, Kaz and I went to a lot of different places around Binondo. Initially, we were planning to do a food trip, but actually I wasn't in the mood for a food trip. But we ended up eating at Tasty, which is one of my favorite establishments. So my sister also gave me this super old washi tape that had like Chinese characters. She got it from a trip to Taiwan a few years back. So I thought it would be nice to utilize the dominant colors of the stationery I had on hand. Being home means I have a different set of stationery, which is always a good challenge to have. And I wanted to use more of like reds, yellows, and greens. That was kind of the ongoing theme of this accordion insert. And every time I approach the accordion, it's always a question of whether you want to tell the story as it is, or you want to keep like one page to itself, or like do a continuous situation. I tried to segment mine into like 2 or 3 panels, but as you can see, I'm always starting with the big elements like the photos, the stickers, and the ephemera that will come in handy, because once I have those pasted in, I can write down everything else that can supplement the images and the graphics and whatnot. So another thing that I wanted to share is, I think this is like, people don't know this, but like actually I'm not as well traveled in the Philippines as much as I'd like to. I'm more well traveled outside of the Philippines, and my goal hopefully in the next years is every time I come back home, I could sneak in a little trip somewhere else. The only places I actually frequent in the Philippines back then, probably like in my early years of being starting this creative career, because it's been 9 years, is mostly going to La Union. It's a surf town up north, and I really like La Union. I also have friends there, but I wanted to do more hiking and like other activities. Also because in Can't Buy Me Love, which is the show that I'm watching, they feature an area in Benguet called Atok, and it's really nice. It's like there's a flower farm and you go hiking and stuff. So I want to get more into that nature aspect also after my healing hiking trip to Kyoto last December. But for now, we're gonna stick to urban life. Going to Binondo is also a nice little getaway because I do miss the hustle and bustle. And I remember when we were growing up, when we would walk to Binondo, usually it's a walk, or like our driver drops us off somewhere and then we just walk around. Especially with my mom, we would get takeout or eat outside and like check stuff. Fun fact is, actually, when I was younger, we would go to Divisoria and like buy supplies, because I used to have a little stationery business in college, And my mom and I would have brunch, or usually early breakfast, I think like 8 o'clock at Ying Ying Tea House. We didn't go this time, but it's one of my favorite places also in Binondo. So I'm kind of used to the fast walking and just, going into the little nooks and crannies, because the streets are actually quite narrow. It's like one lane only for cars and stuff. So yeah, I wanted to relive that, and it was a really nice way to get some steps in at the start of the week as well. Here I am just drawing the characters for the Filipino-Chinese arch. So when I was deciding what to draw, I was more focused on the little details, like there are lanterns, super nice lighting fixtures. This is a lighting fixture from the First United building in Escolta. We decided to do a side trip there after the Binondo part, because Escolta is also really nice and there are some shops. We went to Hub Make Lab, which is like the ground floor of the First United building, and it was nice to just explore and see how things have changed there. Last time I went there was like 2019, probably 2018, when my friend Christine was still she had her studio there in First United. So I also got this Manila sticker from that area, which is from a brand called Grid Art Lab. And this is like the quintessential Manila. You see the clock tower from when you enter Manila, the city of Manila, from different parts of the city, or different parts of the region rather. So the ink I'm using is very everyday ink. It's an everyday ink that I use. It is Kobe Chaska Green. It's a limited edition ink that I got from my trip to Osaka last December. I really like it, and it felt like it complemented the layout as well, as you can see here. Just writing down everything that we did. I have a more comprehensive list of places we went to and my recommendations on my Patreon, so make sure to check out that link below if you want to have your own walking tour of Binondo based on the route that I planned. Let's now move to the back part of the accordion insert, and as you can see, I already pasted my current favorite TV series, TV soap. It's called Can't Buy Me Love, and it's streaming on Netflix Philippines. It's a show that is very highly influenced and inspired by the Chinese-Filipino culture, because one of the families there is Chinese-Filipino. It's a prolific Chinese-Filipino family. So I've been really hyper-fixated on it since my visit to Manila, mostly because I can relate on a lot of things. It stars Donnie Pangilinan and Bel Mariano, and they're really good at their roles. So every few days, my mom and I would watch the new episodes, because when I arrived, I actually finished 100 episodes in 4 days. Don't ask me why, but I was into it really deep. But yeah, it was really, really nice, and I think that also helped me kind of put some perspective into how I perceive my Chinese-Filipino heritage. So it was actually nice. I really enjoyed watching, and also I've just been watching a lot of Filipino teleseries. I don't know, I feel like I'm in a Filipino phase, probably half homesick and also just embracing this side of me, because sometimes when I consume stuff, it's also too serious. And watching like these teleseries are really like feel good for me. And hearing, dialogue in Filipino and English is always something that I welcome. I don't want to ever lose my speaking in Filipino, kasi magaling din ako mag-Tagalog, pero hindi kasing galing ng English or Hokkien. So yeah, that is the finished accordion insert, and I'll walk you through. Here's like the final spread. I don't think it's called a spread. It's the final thing, basically. I do hope this gives you some ideas on to how you can document also with the accordion insert. I am always pleasantly surprised at how they turn out, because half of the time I'm always like, oh, I don't know if using an accordion is actually gonna work out. But it's really all about allowing yourself to be creative. And also with journaling, it's just a lot of formats you can try, and make sure to keep doing that so that you'll be able to figure out your documenting style. And also just, make yourself more open to a lot of different creative limitations. And so that's what I did with this particular documented series. I really enjoyed this because I never document about Manila like this, so it was really, really, really nice to do it. And I hope you enjoyed this travel and journal with me episode. I will see you on the next one. And can you guess where we're going for the next episode? I'm gonna give you a clue. It starts with the letter C. Bye!